If somebody asks you a question that have you factored in risk and uncertainty in investment appraisal, then you say, no, I haven't. The immediate reaction is that your analysis is actually incomplete. Your analysis is not complete. What do we mean by risk and uncertainty? After finishing mergers and acquisitions, we are going to spend a bit of financial risk. So the specific risk that your syllabus spends time on is financial risk. So that is the risk that we are going to spend time on. And this is a risk which is created by movement in the exchange rate. And also the movements in the interest rates. The movement in these two variables does cause a problem for a company, doesn't it? The movement in these two variables does cause a problem for the company. What problem does it cause? Well, it's risk and uncertainty itself. So what is risk and uncertainty? Normally we use these two words interchangeably. People in statistics don't do so, but for our purpose, risk and uncertainty, we use the word interchangeably. So what is the general meaning then when they use interchangeably? This is the possibility. This is the possibility. But the actual results may vary from the outcome. So this is the possibility that the actual results may vary from the outcome, and this may be caused by different factors. So for instance, the movement in exchange rates may make your cost of input completely different from what you expected, isn't it? The movement in exchange rates may make the cost of imports, if you import items. So if most of your inputs are imported, what we are saying is that the cost of the inputs may be completely different from what you expected because of the exchange rate movement. In a similar way, if you're running a bank, or you're running a money lending institution, we are saying that your expected income may be the actual income may be completely different from what you expect. The actual income, if you're running a money lending outfit, the actual income or receipts may be completely different from what you expect. Why? Because of the movements in the interest rates. Supposing if interest rates are reduced. So in a nutshell, risk and uncertainty, we are talking about a possibility that the actual results may vary or may be different from what you expect. That's what we mean. When you invest in investment appraisal, when you invest, you're expecting a return. And this return, you can measure it as an NPV. Or you can measure it as an accounting rate of return, expressed as a percentage. There's a possibility that the NPV that you get may be different from what you expected. There is a possibility that the rate of return on investment may be different from what you expected. And that's what we call risk and uncertainty. And now risk and uncertainty is a big problem in investment appraisal or in investments. When we talk about investments, risk and uncertainty is a big problem. Why? It's a big problem. Well, it's because we're talking about the future. We are saying you invest today in year 0, then year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5, year 6, there'll be profits. The simple question is, how sure are you at this point that all these cash flows will materialize? So we estimate our NPV on the basis of expectations. And those expectations may be completely different. That is why you need to do a risk assessment so that you try to understand how vulnerable your NPV is. So the question is, what methods can we use to assess the vulnerability of your NPV or your project results? What method can we use? How can we incorporate risk and uncertainty in investment appraisal? Now, this is a subject that was covered in FM or F9. This was covered in FM. How do we incorporate? Risk and uncertainty. How do we incorporate risk and uncertainty in investment appraisal? Well, there's a number of methods that you can use. Number one, a method which is as simple as the discounted payback. Discounted payback. Where we make a decision on the basis of discounted payback. Then we also covered another form of a payback. What is that? What is that? You can use project duration. What else can we use? Adjusted discount rate. We can adjust the discount rate. And that's what we covered in advanced cost of capital. That in advanced cost of capital, what happens? You can calculate a project-specific discount rate, which is adjusted for risk. What else can you use? You can also use expected values. You can use sensitivity analysis. You can use sensitivity analysis. Okay. Now, these I will not talk about these methods. This one we have dealt with already. Now, these methods were covered in FM. That one, that one, that one, that one. These methods were covered in FM. So what I'm going to do is, when I'll be taking the FM students in how to incorporate risk and uncertainty investment appraisal, I'll invite all of you to join on that lecture. So you're going to join on that lecture when I'll do some basic computations, especially those involving sensitivity analysis. So you're going to join me on that particular evening. Okay, I'm sure there may be 2 evenings, so maybe one will do, where we're going to look at how do we capture risk and uncertainty in investment appraisal. Okay, what we want to talk about tonight is a method called value at risk. Value at risk. So tonight's lecture simply will deal with the concept of value at risk or VAR. That's the method that we want to zero in on. Okay, so now I want to look at how does value at risk work. So that's what we want to look at. How can you use value at risk in assessing the risk in investment appraisal? It is against this background that we gave you a question. It's against this background that we gave you a question. And this is a question that I shared with you. Now, those of you who have come late, you have found that we have already agreed something here, an assignment. The assignment is that all of you are expected to do that question and that question, those 2. And you submit them to me using your spreadsheet, whatever spreadsheet you're using, but I know that most of you use Excel. So you're going to do this and share them with me. Okay, share them as Excel. That's when I can annotate them and mark them. If it comes as a PDF, I don't have a PDF annotator. So what you do is just say, share it with me using the WhatsApp. WhatsApp is the most versatile. Just share it with me via WhatsApp so that I can mark your work on these 2. But also I want to check your spreadsheet skills. I want to check your spreadsheet skills. What we want to do, so this one is advanced cost of capital, advanced investment appraisal. This is what we're interested in, the value at risk. So now we want to deal with the concept of the value at risk. Okay. If company has estimated an annual standard deviation. Now this is the language that we're interested in, a standard deviation. And this standard deviation is annual. It's an annual standard deviation of 800,000 on one of its other projects other than these that I've mentioned here, based on normal distribution of returns. The average annual return on this project is 2.2 million. Estimate the project's value at risk at 99% confidence level for 1 year, for a single year, and for the project's life for 5 years. Explain what is meant by the answers obtained. So that's what we want to do. That is what we want to do. Okay, so somebody says, I cannot hear. Let's see the settings. Let's see the settings. There's somebody says they can't hear. Let's see the settings. Yeah, we can see the microphone icon is off. So what should this person do? The microphone icon is off. So what can they do? Do you have an expert to type in? Let's just pause. In fact, you stop